Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is third grade from New Academy, Canoga Park.
Hi.
Hi, third graders.
Hi.
It's fun to see you. Let's see here. Make sure we get the good image. And I have somebody to introduce to you.
Mr. Fuddles.
Hi.
It's a big cat.
Hi, everybody. So this is my big inspiration for Fuddles. So I love to sketch him all the time, and I observe him running around. Well, he doesn't run around much. He lies around a lot. And he lies, I don't know if you've seen any photos of him online, but I could show you some on my iPad. But he lies around the house in the funniest poses. And so I sketch him. And here, let me lower this a bit so you can see more of him. There we go. So, and I get all sorts of ideas from him. So, and including the book. So, I'm going to let him go. I think he gets a little nervous with all that attention. So, but we live in the foothills of Glendale. So there's a big hill right across the street from our house. And when we first got Fuddles, we kept him indoors because, you know, there's a lot of wildlife that lives up in the foothills. So do you guys know what kind of critters live up there?
No.
We have deer, and we see rabbits occasionally, and raccoons. And also, the big thing is coyotes. And yeah, and coyotes, they don't want to play with cats. They like to eat them. Yeah, so we kept Fuddles indoors all that time for about the first 3 years. And then, and every chance he could, he tried to sneak outside for an adventure, which is what gave me the idea for a picture book. But we finally let him out in the backyard, which is fenced off, and he's too fat to climb the fence. So he said, hey. So, and that's what gave me the idea for Fuddles. So I'll read the Fuddles book. And so the idea of an indoor cat is what, and having to keep our cat indoor is what gave me the story idea. And then I started playing around with him being pampered, and we pamper our cat a bit, and we try to. He's on a diet now. He has been for a while. We never feed him the way Fuddles, the book cat, is fed. But he is just a huge cat, and every chance he gets, he eats something. In fact, now I'm working on I'm hoping to do a third Fuddles book where the family gets a dog, because that's what happened with us. We have a puppy, or we got a puppy 2 years ago, and our cat, Fuddles, would try to eat the puppy's food every chance that he could. So it's like he would eat his own food, and then he would immediately look outside out the door where we fed the puppy, and now it's a big dog, and still Fuddles, every chance he gets, he tries to eat the dog's food. So, but we don't pamper him that much. Okay, now I'm going to read to you. So, and I think Miss Spector is going to hold up the book too so you can see better. But,
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so here we go. So Fuddles was a fat, pampered cat. His family spoiled him and spoiled him and spoiled him. See, he loves to take a bath, which our real cat doesn't like to do at all. And he loves to lounge around in a hammock of his own. Let's see, whoops, am I holding this right? Yeah, this is a little tricky.
That's okay, I have the book up.
Okay, good. So see, he loves getting his nails clipped, all the things that our cat does not like. But one day, Fuddles realized that all he did was eat, sleep, and visit his litter box. You guys know what that means, right?
Yes.
So he decided that his life needed adventure. He was ready for a change. He summoned his courage and headed for the door. See, and he's out there Dum, 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 heading straight for the door. But Mom had other ideas. "You're not allowed to go outside, Fuddles," she said. And look at Fuddles. See how he can't believe it. Mom said no. Fuddles could not believe his ears. He had never been told no in his life. Why couldn't he go outside now? So, see, he's looking outside, and does he look happy?
No.
Yeah, you can see his reflection in the window, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking at the birdies, and the squirrels, and the butterflies, and they're all out there having fun, and he's stuck inside. The lure of adventure had taken hold of him. He dreamed of scaling soaring mountains and fighting ferocious foes. He was determined to go out. Nothing was going to stop him. So now, see, so that's something that I made up with Fuddles with his personality, that he's a little delusional, and that means that he has an imagination and he doesn't really see the world the way it really is. So in his mind, see, does this look like the real Fuddles?
No.
Yeah, well, what does he look like?
Bear. A bear. A bear.
Well, I mean, he's fighting a bear. But see, he's kind of skinny, and he looks like a karate fighter, like he's ready to take on this big bear. Fuddles is a little rounder, huh? So, well, to prepare for his grand adventure, he started a strict exercise regimen. See, he's like a boxer, like he's pounding the ball. But not too strict. He still enjoyed his meals. So, well, he practiced climbing. He sharpened his hunting skills and his claw. See, again, in his mind, he can catch this big fish with a single claw, and for real, all he's doing is catching a little toy mouse. But one day, one lazy Sunday, Mom told the kids to play outside, and this was his chance. So he raced out. See, the kids left the door open, just like my kids do all the time, and boom, like a cheetah chasing a gazelle, he made a speedy getaway. He hoped Mom didn't see him. And when he went outside, he went straight for the birdies. And there's a photo I can show you guys of my real Fuddles outside, because we have a deck like this. So once outside, Fuddles got right down to business. He'd show those birds who was boss. See? And so he jumped as high as he could. And what happens when you jump up?
Fall down.
Yeah, and what brings you down?
Gravity.
Gravity, exactly. That's what happens with Fuddles. He jumped as high as he could, but then last night's pork chops weighed him down a bit. And he came straight down and splashed into the most disgusting bath he'd ever seen. Fuddles wondered if anybody ever cleaned around here. Mom always kept his home spotless. And you guys see, does that look like a nice bath to take?
No.
Look at that water. It's all green and filmy, and there's dead bugs in it, and spider webs, and all sorts of disgusting things. So Fuddles started washing himself, and as he was washing, he heard somebody snickering at him. Do you guys know who's laughing at him? Squirrels, yeah. Fuddles looked up and thought, that's not funny. He'd show those squirrels who would have the last laugh. And because he'd been practicing climbing, he raced right up that tree. Well, actually, he got about 3 feet up, and he was climbing, and then he was hanging there, and he went back down to the ground. Gravity brought him down again. Perhaps he should have practiced climbing a little more first. So then he went into the neighbor's yard and found a nice soft flower bed to take a rest, because he was tired from all that work climbing. A short cat nap was in order. Do you guys see anything that might disrupt his cat nap? Yeah. Let's see. Whoa, big dog. And look how high Fuddles could suddenly jump. Fuddles thought it best not to use his fighting skills at the moment. This dog looked like he meant business. And not only could Fuddles jump high suddenly, because a little fear helped him out, and he could climb high too suddenly. He raced right up that tree, just like that. He began to think, though, that he wasn't cut out for adventure. He didn't even know how he'd get down from that tree. And see, he didn't even want to get down because that dog was right there. But a thing called gravity helped him out again. See, he went too far to the edge of the branch would crack, and he went down, whoosh, and he landed with a plop, and the dog went, yeah. Like, there we go. Then he knocked the stuffing out of that dog. And when cats land, you know, they always land on their four paws, but when they're afraid, their claws stick out. And so what happened with Fuddles is that his claws got stuck in the dog's hide. And he wanted to get out of there, and he couldn't. He was stuck. And that dog didn't like having a cat on his back, so he started hopping around and jumping to get rid of that cat. See? Kind of like, you guys ever seen a rodeo on TV? like a bucking bronco. He was hanging on for dear life. He went up and down and back and forth and up and down again. And then he just went down. Wah. What happened with the dog? Let's see, you guys see the dog there?
No.
The big meat dog off. But now he felt a little dizzy and he had an upset tummy. Plus he needed his litter box. And not only that, but see, Fuddles, he was lost. He had no idea where he was. So here, see, this is where the dog ran off. Let's see. And so Fuddles, you could see his footprints, or his paw prints, and he went all around the neighborhood looking and looking, and he was lonely, and he wanted to go home, but nothing looked familiar to him. And the further he walked, the darker it got. You guys see where he is there at the bottom? Yeah. So he was looking for his family, and they were looking for him. Do you guys see his family?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked at a flashlight, and they're calling him, but he couldn't hear him. They were too far away. And on top of all that, his tummy started rumbling. He was getting hungry, and he was getting desperate. He was about to eat something out of a garbage can. Oh, poor guy. But then his ears pricked up. He heard something, and it was his family calling him, and he raced over there, and yay, he found them. And they found him, and they were so happy that they took him straight home, and he ended up back home in the lap of luxury. His tummy rub. But he knew he was an adventurer, even though it didn't go all that well. But like all great adventurers, he deserved to be pampered. So that's the end of the book.
Yay. You read it so much better than I do.
Okay, now I'm going to show you on my iPad. I have some pictures of...
Fuddles. Hello.
Okay, so I'll hold this up close. On bed, and so here, see now he's outside. I don't know how well you can see. His dog, our dog is getting fed. Can you see that?
It's a little, maybe higher?
Okay, let's see.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I can see there's a reflection in there.
Hey, did you see the cat in the window, did you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is my studio.
Okay, a little higher. There we go.
And look, see, there they are. They're actually friends. Occasionally. So, let's see. Oh yeah, so here's Fuddles at night, looking outside, wishing he could be out there exploring. And, oh, I love this one. This is one of my favorites. So he lies around our house like that all the time, and even if we have people over, and he just lies in the middle of the living room, and people just step over him. And, oh yeah. See? So when he's in these poses, I sketch him all the time. Let's see, let me find another. Yeah. See, I've got my drawing paper there, and he's lying on top of it. So let's see. Oh yeah, this one's funny too. I was cleaning out a drawer, and of course he climbed in. So okay, now I'm going to show you also. Okay. So I'm also an animator. So I've worked for Disney and DreamWorks and other studios, and I have some actual animation I could show you that I did at the Disney studio. And this is for a little film that explained how animation was made. So here, I'll play this for you guys. So yeah, that was Robin Williams. So and Walter Cronkite, who was a newsman a long time ago. And so here I have the drawing. Now this will be a little tricky. I'm going to try to flip these drawings because so this was animated traditionally on paper, and it's difficult for me to hold this up. But so we study or we flip our drawings to see that if the movement is working right. See, here's the baby, that point, his eyes pop out.
Can you hold it a little higher?
Okay.
It's a heavy book.
Yeah, like that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
There, okay. See, and then he
it's going.
point, there come his feet, and then he wiggles his toes.
See, he just showed us that.
And then, yeah, this is so thick. And then there he becomes Walter Cronkite. So that's it.
Yay, very cool.
So this whole stack of drawings is what it took to do that first scene that you guys saw. So, okay. Now I think you guys have seen some of the animation, right? Of Fuddles.
Yes, we watched the book trailer.
Okay, and have you seen? So here's something I don't know if you've seen, but here. So here's my cat going down the stairs. Watch how his fanny waddles. See, so I study that, and I put that in my animation. That's what animators do, and I think writers as well. You observe life around you, and then you get ideas, you get inspiration, and you use that in your characters. Now I have another one. This shows you how smart my cat is. Wait, I have to try. There we go. So this is my daughter's bedroom. Isn't that amazing? What a clever boy he is, huh? So you can see I get all sorts of inspiration from my cat. Let's see. Okay, here's a bit of animation. Have any of you seen Frozen?
Oh, yeah!
All right. So you know what? I'm going to make sure my volume is up as high as it can go.
Did you do Frozen?
I think he's going to show us.
Okay, here we go. Okay, back to videos. So here's a little. I did some development work on Frozen. So I did some early test animation. So here is a scene that I did.
Something quick. Get you through dead or alive. Right, alive. Got it. That's probably better for you.
Oh, that's
That's Olaf. Go. And then here's another scene that I did, and this is some test animation that I did with some new technology at Disney, where I was animating and drawing directly on the computer screen. So see if you guys can figure out who this guy is.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but there's no sound on this. You made a little segue. There it is. That's it. So, and then I'll show you one more scene, and this is a little test scene, another test scene that I did, animating, drawing on the computer screen for Frozen. And what we were hoping to do, and it ended up not working out, but we wanted to do you know when they have all the names at the end of the movie? That's called those are called the credits. And we wanted to do some animation where Olaf would reveal all the people's names. So there's no sound on this, but oops. So he's got a chainsaw, which we thought would be silly. See, and then those X's would represent somebody's name.
Oh, like he's carving the eyes.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'll play it one more time. But yeah, it's like, so he's got a big block of ice behind him, and then he would reveal somebody's name in it. So he starts it up, and tries again, and then he loses control. He carves out somebody's name in a block of ice.
Well, it's X's for now, but
Kind
that
of
would have been
silly.
the name.
Okay, so now I'll show you too. So I have sketchbooks everywhere. I have little small ones that I keep in my jacket pocket. I have sketchbooks in my car. I have them all over the house, so that anytime I have an idea, I can just scribble it out. So here I'll show you. I was working on a little boy, a story idea, and so it's just some early drawings. And I'm not very happy with those yet, but they were kind of just the first ones. And the story idea was that there's a boy who's playing in his backyard with a ball, and he kicks the ball underneath the deck, and it's all dark there, and there's spider webs, and it's really scary for him. And he goes to ask his mom and dad for help, and they're both busy, so he has to do it on his own. So he has to find the courage to climb underneath there. So I kept drawing, coming up with, see, and I write little notes to myself. So these are all still drawings, and when I do that, I'm exploring what the drawing, what he's going to look like, and I keep changing his features, and I keep trying different poses. And these are getting closer to what I ended up with. See, I just do drawing again and again. So, and I think this one here, this is my favorite. So that one I'll hold a little closer. That one I'm really happy with. So now, once I had that, then I kept going back and playing around with his personality and trying to figure out what kind of a character he is. And then I did a kind of a model sheet. So I did a bunch of, so these are more final poses, and I named him Arnold. So.
How long does it take you to draw a page of drawings like that?
Well, I did a lot of exploring. So, I mean, once I knew his design, I could do this in about, 30 minutes or so.
Okay.
And I've learned, because I've been drawing all my life, I started drawing when, I don't know, I was probably 3 years old or so. And in fact, what inspired me to draw was, and I was born in Holland, a country far away. And whenever my grandpa came to visit, he really liked to draw horses. That was the only thing he could draw. So every time he came over, I had him draw horses for me, and then I would copy them. And I've just been drawing my whole life, and I'm still working at it. I never stop Because I think if you want to be good at something, just like, the Olympics are going on and the athletes there, they work really hard to be as good as they can be. And that's what I do too. I still keep working at my drawing to improve, to learn more. So, okay, now I'm going to try, I'm going to show you I have my computer here, my laptop. So, and I'm going to try, let's see if this will work. Let me tilt this a bit. So, I can draw on my computer. So here this is the drawing program that I like to use. So I'm going to show you how, see, I usually just start off very rough. You guys tell who that is?
It's kind of.
See if I can get a little closer.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see.
Is it? Can you see it like that? Yeah?
Yeah, that's better. Can you guys tell who that is?
Yeah? Okay. Boy, I hardly have any room. It's funny, I've got one laptop sitting on top of another one.
Is that
I can barely see what I'm doing anymore. But.
Is it a chipmunk? No. Oh, it's Fuddles, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Look how quick he draws. Isn't that cool? He can draw on the computer.
There he is.
So fast.
So I make all sorts of drawings on my computer, and what's nice is that I can change what I want so easily. So here's an eraser setting. So I go in and say if I don't like the shape of that mouth, I just go in and whoop, I just erase it. And then I go back to my pencil setting, and then maybe I think, maybe he's just thinking. See? And then I just like that. Oops.
Isn't that cool?
So I could show you guys too. Okay, now I'm going to close this. No, I don't want to save that. I'm going to go into, let's see, my Fuddles setting. So when I started working on the Fuddles book, when you make a picture book, you start off with what's called a dummy, which is kind of funny. I don't know if the dummy is the author or what. I don't know where that came from. But when you make a dummy, let me see here. I want to view. So let me go back this. Hang on a second. Shoot. Okay. So these are all the images. Now you guys can't see those. I need to enlarge that. But basically, you make a lot of drawings, and you make up a fake book. Kind of the dummy means that it's a very rough copy of your book. So I'm going to try to, let's see if I can show these to you guys in a better way. But there we go, slideshow, that's what I want. Okay, so here, can you see this okay?
Well, hold on.
Yeah? Okay. So the pictures are going to turn, but you can see that these are just rough drawings, and these are my first passes. So I put the text with it, and so I drew all this in my computer, and I sent this to my editor. And then what she did, and you can see that this is the Christmas book, but none of these pictures are actually in the final book. Well, this one is where he starts to climb the book, where he starts to climb the tree. But I make all these rough drawings, and then I can email them to my editor in New York. And then she makes comments, and she says, this doesn't work, or let's rewrite this. And so she sends me notes, and then I go back and I make changes. And I eventually, when we agree on everything, then I go in and do the final artwork. So some of these images are in the final book. Have you guys seen the Christmas book?
Yes, we read it last week.
Okay. So you can see some of these images are there, but things changed. So like here, when he went down the chimney, it ended up becoming a two-page image. And here, my original idea for the final image had Santa Claus in it. So, okay. So that's that. Let me exit out of that. Okay, and let's see. what else was I going to show you? Well, actually, do any of you have any questions?
Okay, we have one question. Come on up here, sweetheart.
Okay.
Yes, no, I'm sorry, no, yes, please. Your hand wasn't raised. Okay, sit right here, and then he can hear you, okay? He can see you, too. There you go. Oh,
Hello. How old am I?
sorry.
I'm 55 years old. Like old, huh?
Thank you. Okay, one more question's coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought they would ask how old Fuddles is. How old is Fuddles?
I know. So Fuddles is, he's 13 years old. So he's starting to become, he's a middle-aged guy.
Yeah,
So,
but cats live a long time.
What's that?
Cats live a long time, don't they?
Yeah. Most cats live till they're 20 or so or past that. So we're hoping to have him for a good long time yet.
Okay, here we have another question.
And how does Fuddles behave at home?
Well, let's see. He basically thinks that the house belongs to him. So he's constantly, he climbs up on the couch and acts like the couch is his. And if we want to sit down where he's lying, he doesn't want to move at all. We have to physically just push him off the couch. And we feed him at 6 o'clock in the morning. I always get up before 6, and he's ready to eat well before then. And then his afternoon feeding is at 3 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock he starts meowing, and he's just wandering around, trying to get our attention, just like, feed me, feed me. So, but other than that, he's just lying around the house. In fact, let's see if I can show you.
You see he's laying in the sun right there?
You see him? Yes. See, he's lounging in the sun.
Go ahead and sit down.
So that's what he does most of the time.
That's funny. Okay, we have another question for you.
Does the
Okay.
dog come in and out?
What's that?
Does the dog come in and out, or does he only
Yeah,
come outside?
our dog loves to be inside. And so the only problem, like right now, I fed the dog right before we started Skyping. So that meant, and that's another, since we got the dog, that's quite tricky, that we have to feed Fuddles inside, and we have to feed our dog outside. And so, but our dog doesn't right away eat her food, and Fuddles does. And in fact, as soon as Fuddles is done eating his food, he wants to eat the dog's food. So we have to make sure, like if anybody goes outside, we have to make sure that we close the door so that Fuddles stays inside. Otherwise, he bolts straight for the dog's food, and the dog doesn't eat her food right away. So it's just sitting there. And poor Fuddles sits there looking out the window, just staring at the dog's food, wanting to get at it.
That's so funny. Okay, looks like we have time for one more question.
Okay.
This is the last question. Here he comes. This is Christian.
How old is your dog?
Our dog is only 2 years old, so we got her as a little puppy. And in fact, I want to work, the next book that I want to do with Fuddles is where the family gets a puppy. And so the idea is that so Fuddles at the beginning of the book, let's say Fuddles is this big, and the dog is only this big, but by the end of the book, Fuddles is this big, and the dog is this big. So it'll be tricky to make the dog grow. And I was doing a book signing a while ago at a bookstore, and I was talking to the people there, kids with their parents, and one of the kids asked, what other Fuddles books I want to do, and I said, well, we just got a dog, so I'm playing around with the story idea. And then one of the parents said, and I'm going to use this idea. They said, hey, maybe the puppy pees on the floor, and they call them puddles. So I'm going to do Fuddles and Puddles.
That's cute. That's very funny.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Vischer. It looks like we're about done. Do you want to say one more thing or wrap it up?
So something that I want you guys to keep in mind is that I love doing what I do. I'm very fortunate to be able to draw and make a living from drawing and writing, but I work at it really hard, and I'm constantly pushing myself to get better. And that's something that you guys need to do too. Work hard at school and find out what it is that you really love to do and just work really hard at it. That's how you succeed. So,
That's excellent.
good luck to you all, and
Thank
do
you.
lots of reading because books are good for you.
Thank you. That's absolutely right. Thanks. That's good advice. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Vischer.